And then the ideas start flowing and the impulses start flowing and then the things start coming to me. Think of yourself as being a cooperative component. Esther was sitting at the airport yesterday morning, really early in San Diego. And she was sort of roaming around, wanting to keep moving. She knew she'd be sitting for a while. So she walked over there and she walked over there, and most everything in the airport was closed. It was that early of a flight. And so she'd walked down to her gate. Her gate was at the far end, and she sat over there, and then she sat over there, and then she got a very strong impulse to go sit looking out. And she usually does not do that. And then she got out her iPhone. She has a coloring game on it that she likes to see the pretty colors and enjoy, and she's developed all kinds of different techniques that please her in different ways about it. So she played with that for a little bit, and then she looked up, and just as she looked up, the little cart outside, the little train that has all the baggage on it, came around the corner, and as it went around the corner, a suitcase fell off. And Esther jumped right up and went over, and the driver didn't see it and went right on. And so Esther thought, somebody's not going to get their luggage. And off the guy went. And so Esther waited, and there was nobody around, and she waited. Banging on the window wasn't going to help. And as soon as she saw someone who looked official, she said, a suitcase fell off. And they got on their radio and said, ground crew, you copy, and they did. And then Esther stood there and watched somebody come back and get that suitcase. She said, I'm a cooperative component. I'm a cooperative component. I was in the right place at the right time, and they couldn't see it because it had tumbled and rolled up under the steps. And so Esther's banging on the window going, she was a cooperative component for quite a while. And she took such delight in being a cooperative component. She knew for sure that she had been called over there, guided over there from the vibration that had that knowing. Now, humans want to understand, how is the future known? The future is known because the law of attraction is known. It is a sophisticated algorithm that AI will never understand. Only infinite intelligence, understands it. And so once you get the hang of this, and you're mostly just feeling good, determined to feel good, nothing's open, no one's here. Oh, I'll color. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, that's pretty. It sounds ridiculous, but when you hold yourself in a state of feeling good, then you're always in the right place at the right time for the upliftment of something. And isn't it nice when you catch yourself in the right place at the right time for the upliftment, not for the making things happen? You're not turning it from a smear or a vibration into something. You're the witnesser of it. The laws of the universe have already taken care of it. You did step 1. Source is doing step 2. Your staying happy is what step 3 is. And trying to be the universe or trying to fix the problem is the problem. It's what keeps people from being in that receptive place. Now, all kinds of wonderful things happen to you. You don't have to see the suitcase fly off, and you don't have to be the one that rescues it. You don't have to do that. That's not what our message is. But, oh boy, is it ever fun for you to be tuned in to your own desires and have awareness of how you could shift that and be that and move that. That's what makes life fun. You didn't come and say, I'm going to be a creator and I created that, and isn't it great? There it is. Well, what's your purpose in life? That was it. That's not what it is. It's that and that and that and that and that. And it's not even the manifestation of it. By the time it gets to a manifestation, if you understand the thrill of having your hands in your own creative clay, you've had way so much fun. And by the time that shows up, whether it's $1 billion or $1 million or a new house or a lover or a new car or a new job or a new whatever it is, by the time it shows up, you go, oh, I've been expecting you. By the time it shows up, you say, you are the next logical step. Because first, I was just, and then I was, and then I was, ooh, and then I was, and then, that's how it goes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had a very vivid feeling of what my next partner is going to feel like and be like. And there's unease on my part with how can you be so already there in this feeling when on a physical level, intimacy is not present?
Well, we talked about this quite a bit already today, that it's never satisfying to any of you for us to talk about vibrations when you are a emotion-based person. And so we know that we're asking a lot of you to just give up the things that you think make it happen that never have and that aren't working for you and try a new way. So we would like you to do something over the next few days. Ask yourself, whenever you get into a mood like this, ask yourself, is this an intention that I am considering here? Or is this an opinion? Because your opinions aren't working very well for you. And your opinions are based on what other people say to you and about you, what you are observing around you. It's not an easy thing to just break free of the momentum of your thoughts. But it's really helpful to know that in those uncomfortable moments that you've created something different that you can have. We could talk with you the rest of this day and you would feel better, but not much would change in a short period of time. When you said last time we spoke, we said something to you. When was that?
Oh, a few months ago. But every time, whatever you said was always, I think, a mirror. When you answer my question on Abraham now, it is always a mirror of my really amazing feeling of being there, like you just mentioned, being in connection with intention.
Well, what you're talking about here and what you're demonstrating here and what everybody understands is that when in a moment you are hearing what you want to hear or feeling the way you want to feel, that it's easy to feel good. In a moment when you don't have trust or what you want is missing, it's not easy to feel good. And you have to connect those dots. You have to let yourself know that it's not about something outside of you. No one is depriving you of what you want. It's only your own thoughts about this and that that are allowing or depriving you of what you want. And so that's what you want to demonstrate to yourself. If something that you want is not coming about, then own that. Acknowledge, I'm focused more on what is than on what is has created for me. And start with things that don't matter so much. Start with the easier things. That's why Esther has so much fun making her pointing list, because she's pointing at things that she's not asking for life-changing things. She's not asking for peace on earth as she's pointing. She's asking for things that she knows that the universe can deliver to her today, like a really good sandwich. And when the really good sandwich comes, she feels successful.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good. We know.
How I know I understand love, energy, things we're getting old.
Flesh this out a little more.
When I fail to communicate about the attachment, the only thing I'm having a short circuit with, the major, is me getting old, my body getting old, my vessel.
Moving through time?
Yeah.
Or declining? You know what makes people...
The physical part.
Well, you know what decline is all about? Tug of war. And what we talked about here is that I want to teach this, but I've got to let go of that. That's a tug of war. So just teach that. When you're teaching that, you don't have hold of that, but you're not pushing against that either. It's always resistance that slows you down, that bogs you down, that short circuits or slows the natural progression of becoming. You're an eternal being, so you're never going to stop becoming. Well, you've learned to just take it and not argue with us because you know we're not going to let it go. But as you listened here, did you get a sense of what we're talking about? And do you recognize things in your own experiences that sort of mimic the conversation that we just had here? It's very human to be standing where you are and evaluating where you are and making a decision about where you'd rather be by talking about how you don't want any more of that. That's what step one really is. You did all of that. Do you know that all of your work, you might say, all of your effort, you might say, all of your trying, all of that hard stuff, all of your gearing down and getting it going, it's all in step one. Because life comes to you, and you are where you are, and life comes to you, and then you have reactions to how it's coming to you. And what's the reason for the reaction? The reason for the reaction about the way life is touching you is because your inner being is aware of it and has a feeling about it, and you are aware of it and having a feeling about it. And those feelings sometimes blend and sometimes don't, because it's a very human thing for humans to feel like the victim, or like they're being taken advantage of, or like they just don't know enough, or like they should be doing something different. And your inner being is never, ever, 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 ever going to agree with that. Your inner being knows that every experience you have in life has informed you in some way to your advantage 100% of the time. And so when you stand in something that you're not wanting to live, and you look around and you see other people living differently, or maybe living better, or you've tried something and it didn't work out, and so you say, I'm never going to do that again. What we really want you to hear is that every single time you're talking about what you no longer want, every single time you talk about how I'm leaving that behind, every single time you are doing something that your inner being never ever does, because your inner being always looks forward to what you have informed your inner being that you want. You can do that too. But most everybody is all wrapped up in all of the dialogue and all of the self-help whatever, or religious whatever, or opinion from the peanut gallery of whatever. And that's why we're asking you, really asking you to leave this gathering with a new, more pointed intention of finding, as best you can, as often as you can, the feeling of the vortex. Because as you find that feeling, then you will be in active cahoots with your inner being. And you and your inner being will be this blended point of attraction that will be gathering the cooperative components to you. And what you'll find is ease and flow. Never regret. What you'll find is fresh new ideas. Never regret. What you'll find is cooperative others, never obstinate. So much of what you said to us here today, we recognized so vividly because we watched you live it and we saw you put it in your vortex. But as you're speaking about it from not in your vortex, then it's just words that are not actively accomplishing anything. Whereas you're finding the feeling place of what wasn't there, but the feeling place of what is here, then, oh, it happens so fast. You're doing something, and a lot of you do. You are healers and teachers and uplifters. You want that. You were born for that. That's the predominant heart of who you are, who have gathered here. But when you look to help others because you didn't like it when you lived it, you can't help them until you're no longer feeling what they're living that you didn't like. Because you can't attract them to a place different than where you are. And so, like Esther, if you let somebody get to you in their need, so much so that their need is so pressing and evident that then the only thing that she could do is just try to give them the manifestation, not one thing changed. Not one benefit happened. Time went by, but no vibrational frequencies changed, and the point of attraction replicated itself again, and 6 months later, she found him right where he was when she met him. And she thought, man, I was pretty bold thinking I'd help that guy. Nothing changed. Nothing changed because I let him call me over there, and it was from that end of the stick that I took action. Instead of me calling him over here, and from this end of the stick, I took action. Can you hear the difference? Really good conversation. Do you feel satisfied?
Yes, thank you.
Good time for a segment of refreshment.